Hello there, Dan the Weatherman here. Hey, welcome to my weather show. This is the global version where I take a look at the weather around the world and see what's been going on. And as usual, there is certainly a lot to talk about. The wide shot across much of Australasia back towards the Pacific had some active weather over parts of China. That's this whole mass of cloud that is going away. Quiet weather over Australia, big area of high pressure. That'll be the story there. The Southern Ocean, Mother Nature, is opening it up for business for New Zealand with some wintry weather to roll in over the course of this week. The heat, though, is building over the Indian Ocean. The biggest weather system on the planet literally is the Indian monsoon, and it's just getting sort of cranking. But of course, you need the warmth in the Indian Ocean, you need the cold, and you turn what is a northeast wind in the winter to that southwest juicy wind, and you need some heat as well to get things going. This red is temperatures 40 or better already, the Indian subcontinent all the way to Africa. That has set things going, and a lot of times in the first leading edge of that flow coming in towards India, where you get a southwest flow meeting the higher, cooler, drier air, making that convergence to make the monsoonal storms, you sometimes get tropical cyclones. Well, we sure do. This one here, just sitting there, just formed, that will track its way up the western coasts of the Indian subcontinent. This particular one, it'll probably strengthen with winds well in excess of 200 kilometers per hour. This, of course, is called Tauktae. That will track right the way towards Gujarat, probably by the time we go through Wednesday, getting its winds to intense purposes and then slowly weakening down as it gets more shear, catching the westerly. But in those warm waters, it'll more or less stay offshore with the strongest wind staying offshore, probably west of Mumbai, but at least a little bit of moisture will creep its way in. It's all being steered around this big bubble here, the broad ridge. And with that, you can see the flow, and this is the tropical troublemaker there, tracking there, as opposed to coming in, but it will still make landfall there. And all this red, that shows the warmth in the middle levels of the atmosphere, just making it quite a cauldron or an engine room for Mother Nature to get going. And speaking of the heat, it has certainly been the case across Eastern Europe. Look at that 20s and 30s with that flow. Big blocking high is the reason why. It's been a dull old May for western parts of Europe, in particular the British Isles. They've been barely getting themselves into the lower to perhaps middle teens because of just that stuck upper level low sitting in place. But things will change. Notice by the end of the week we are seeing some hints of yellow come in from the west, and that of course is a subtle change. That's the stuck in the mud low that's been not moving. Warmth there, pretty fast jet stream bringing all the weather systems in, and Mother Nature, she kept the door open to the Arctic. That's why we keep getting the cold in, but it will change a little bit. This is how it looks now. Broad upper low. Low pressure, notice further east you are quieter, got the fine weather. Notice that low going away. This is early week. You say, well, how does that look better? Yeah, I know. There's another low that comes in there. This is probably going into about Thursday, but it's a west to southwest flow. Notice that blue line. That's milder air coming in. We've pushed the low away, and guess what? By the time we go up to the weekend, we could even see, the hints of high pressure, quieter weather moving into western parts of Europe. A bit of a shift as low pressure moves its way through. And all of that is really driven by what's been a very, very active system across northeastern parts of North America. This is the US right here. You've had a ridge that's kept things quiet-wise across many areas over the last several days, and cool, and that real temperature contrast has had things going. But a change in America will be fairly active weather with a fairly mean-looking upper trough to rotate in. That'll set up the severe storms. That could be the tornado risk across the southern plains going to the middle part of the week. And with that, we push up some warm air. So it'll shift things round across many areas. That is a big upper ridge you see there. Pump all the air north and look at things diving down. So it'll be a shift from the warm. That'll be more likely cool, but setting off some pretty intense storms across the southern plains of the US. Check out the temperatures where this yellow and green is. That's been cool. There's the polar vortex just hanging out. That's created the temperature contrast, but watch how the red expands as we finish off the course of the week. Setting up the storms, the fuel for the fire, and that goes north and even just works into sort of nibble away at what's been that cold air sitting across the far north of Canada. So things quietening down. It's always busy across much of the globe. More to come, but that's the weather for now.